Good afternoon, everybody. So today I wanted to talk to you about does the narcissist ever leave the primary supply? They do discard, but will they leave the primary supply? And why not? Because they don't. They will devalue and discard the primary supply. They usually do this. They devalue and discard everybody, but generally speaking, they will not discard the primary supply, or if they do discard, it's just fake. That's why we always say the narcissist is coming back, because if you're truly with a narcissist and you got past love bombing phase, then the narcissist does not they discard, but it's fake. Meaning they're just taking a break from you. They're shelving you. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, they'll leave you, but they're going to come back, and they're going to come back because, like I said, I said this several times, they have abandonment issues. They have abandonment issues, and your supply, meaning your commodity. It's kind of like if I had money, and you represent the money. Well, I'm going to come back to pick up my money. But it's more or less like a car that runs out of fuel, and then, down the road when some nice, pedestrian or something fills that car up with fuel. If I come back and see my car full of fuel, I'm going to come get it, pick it up, because why? It's mine. And also because I need a ride, and that car is full of fuel. And so it's kind of like they'll ride a car till the rocket, till the wheels fall off, which is you. And then they'll just leave you on the side of the road and hop in another car, hitchhike, pretty much. And then, come back for that car if somebody put fuel in it. That's kind of how they kind of look at us. It's my weird analogies. I'm just throwing at you off the cuff because I'm doing this one off the cuff. And a lot of times I do, but not always. But why do they continue to come back for the primary supply? Well, you are the center of the fuel matrix. Even when you're gone, they still rely on you to be the center of the fuel matrix because they're not going to be away for long. Their cycles, typically a true narcissist is going to have a cycle that's going to be no longer than 3 months with an individual, typically, except for maybe in a love bomb phase for a brand new form of supply, they may last a little bit longer. And if it's longer than that, it's because it's a distance, a relationship that's over hundreds of miles, or that you give them the ability to give you excuses. And so they can basically do whatever they want, come see you when they want, like an open door policy. Now, those kind of relationships are handled differently. But again, you may not be primary supply if that's the case. But depending on your boundaries, if you have absolutely no boundaries, they can last longer, and also love bomb phase can last longer. But they're eventually going to discard and then come back. And it's part of it's because you generate fuel and you have the ability to regenerate fast. That's a blessing that you do have. But I think it's out of survival mode from what you grew up in, because a lot of times you have to do this on a regular basis. But I wanted to go over a few things because there's different things that I want to go over. So one is today's currency, and you're starting to hear this more and more. But today's currency is made up, has to do with 3 different topics or different types. So there's time is currency, energy is currency, and money. And so when we're talking about, free will, we live in a society, or we live in this earth, God's given us the ability to have free will. And so basically you have to consent to things. And that's kind of why when you go into a relationship with a narcissist, you get so burdened down, and you get in so much trouble sometimes because in a sense you kind of consent to it, even though you've been duped or lied to, manipulated into it. Your true self, I think, has always been trying to tell you your innate self. And that's what we as primary supply holders in the past that grew up in these families have to hone. Why we have to hone our intuition. So that's basically our true self and our spirit man, and it will lead us. But a lot of times, because we came out of these homes, we were taught to defy it or to not listen to it and to tamp it down. And that's how we got in a lot of these. And then we were trained to people please, to not believe our intuition. And what do we talk about? How if you sin over and over, you will lose your conviction. And that same thing goes with anything. If you are in pro sports, if you don't play for a year, you will be so far behind your athletic cohorts, compadres, that you won't be able to compete anymore to some degree, because in professional sports, time is huge. And then when you get into tamping down your intuition, if you tamp it down long enough, you will not use it. And that's kind of, some of these things is kind of what led to the narcissist becoming a narcissist, because they allowed for their convictions to go unnoticed and to refuse them. And when you continue to refuse things, then you're not going to be sensitive to it. And that's why you want to be sensitive to these things, because they will lead you to into folly and sin and pain and hurt that you can cause to others, or, you know, that can be caused to you. In the case of us, we're talking about, to some degree, survival in ourselves in these situations. And so they don't leave you, of course, because of the abandonment, but they don't attach to you because they don't love. We know that. But here's the thing. They are so successful with your fuel. That's what we're always talking about, fuel, right? Well, your fuel is your energy, and it comes from, it's like we talk about soul energy or life force or life source energy. That your fuel is the premium. It's the 104 fuel at the gas tank. It's not 87. It's I don't know, I guess you can call it clean. I don't know. But I guess my point is when they have to go out there and fake it to make it, to put on a mask, to seduce people, anybody. It could be at work. It could be a new love partner, a new form of supply, anything. When they form that mask now, remember we always talk about that they copy your traits, your mannerisms, your whole aura goes with them. That's why when they leave you, there's different things going on, but you feel almost empty and soulless yourself, man. You don't even know who you are anymore. And they drained you and you allowed it, right? So there's the consent. Even if you were seduced into it or duped into it, or you grew up unbeknownst to you in it. See, that's where the generational curse is. You didn't have to do anything. You were born in the seduction of it. But the beautiful thing is God gives grace to the humble and gives grace to people that want to walk in truth and love. And that's where your grace came from, praise God. So what happens is they wear that mask, but that mask consists of all of your fuel. And it works so well. The problem they have to leave is they are sabotaged. They have self-sabotage. So you can only be perfectly good or perfectly evil. There's no gray area. Like, I love my partner even though they offended me. And we're going to talk about it and go through it and get to the bottom of it. But, you know, I'm kind of upset right now. They leave you. They discard you. And a lot of times when you start running low on fuel, and what happens is you start to question them time after time, because you get not concerned, you get annoyed because you know you're being played. It's almost like you can still be seduced and still know you're being played as you're waking up to this. And so they never talk about anything intimate or any kind of intimate conversation in regards to where your problems stem from. They just rage and then they leave and they'll discard you as if you're a piece of trash. And that's part of the self-sabotage as well. They also leave you because when you start doing that, your fuel's running low, because they have negative reciprocity, meaning if you give them 100% of your fuel, they will give you 10, 20, 30, but they're never going to come close to the amount of fuel that you put into them. So when you get low on fuel or you get sick, then the negative reciprocity lays in your hands, in your lap. You need their help. I need you, partner. That's why they're your partner, supposedly, because you ask for your partner to help you when you need it, not to abuse, but in your needs. We all have needs, right? And we all have a partner because our partner kind of helps us, but not to complete us, but our partner accentuates our life to some degree, okay? That's how it's supposed to be. But the narcissist never accentuates your life. There's never a benefit in having a narcissistic partner because they're always takers. There's always negative reciprocity. That's why they leave you if you're sick or if you're out of fuel. They may allow you to perform a reverse discard, meaning you decide to leave them. But it was all enacted by them because they're the puppeteer. And when you're with a narcissist, you're the puppet. And they're even being puppeteered by negative energy or whatever you want to call it, hurt, undealt with pain and trauma. You can just go with it with that. But the thing is this is how it works too. The mask they put on, that is your fuel, it gives them major success. And it builds them up, lifts them up. See, because when they're wearing your fuel, that mask is your fuel. And that's why you reap a lot of their karma, or you reap what they've sown, because it's your fuel. And then again, you went into covenant with them. So you made a agreement to that. Okay. So then next is you also agreed to give all your fuel to them. And because you did that, then again, you consented to them, their allowance on your fuel. And that's why money and time is as well, because they steal your time, steal your energy, and steal your money, all of it, all in one fell swoop. Then they leave you with holding an empty bag in depression, anxiety, and not knowing who the hell you are anymore. You're just an empty shell. And you're like, how did this ever happen? It's like you don't even know your identity anymore. When you're with somebody who is an evildoer and full of emptiness, hollow, soullessness themselves, or of negative energy and filled with negative energy, which is worse, then you will end up as a mirror image of them. But they are continually have negative pressure, so they're always sucking off of your life force energy. It's like a tick that plugs into a dog or an animal, a deer. If you ever see a tick, it may start out the size of, a needle, but by the time it's done filling up, it's like this big and it's all blood in there. And they don't give the deer or the dog any nutrients. They just suck from them, and then they may fall off or get knocked off. And then they'll get down to the size of a tick again, which is like the size of the point, or a little bigger than the point on a needle or a pen. And then they'll find another animal and jump onto them. But that's negative reciprocity. Sometimes a parasite can give you a little bit. It could be neutral, like they may help you and help themselves at the same time. But the narcissist doesn't even do that. So they have to leave you because they have to continually drain somebody, because they cannot create their own fuel, because there's no true entity in there. The person in there is just the mask. It's like that's where all they do is they just mirror. They mirror like a chameleon, but they're the mask. They just put on a face, put on a face, put on a face, and they use your fuel to do it. And they copy your traits and mannerisms and your aura and your personality, as much as they can understand your soul. I mean, that's how evil it is. And so they will continue to come back for that grade A premium 104, 105, 106 premium grade fuel. It runs the best. And it yields them the most return on their money, except they don't give you any money. I'm just using that example. But anyway, that's why they continue to return. That's why it ends up being you having to decide to leave them. See, they will never leave you. And that's why it is consent. See, because you have to consent to them leaving now by having no closure. All you need to know about closure is you never have to ask them questions, because they're always going to lie to you. So why would you ask them questions about anything? Their child is a lie, their current's a lie, their present's a lie, their family stories are lies, everything's a lie, their future is a fake too. So don't ever go to a narcissist for answers to questions. And you don't need closure, as much as that's built into, this wickedness that they try to instill in you. Your closure is that you're dealing with somebody who lives in folly and is controlled by something outside of themselves. And when it comes to their own identity, there is none. And that's why they can't deal with any kind of intimate thoughts, because there is no intimate person in there. They can't give you any intimate thoughts on anything, any intimate answers on anything, because there's no person of intimacy in there. Whatever was in there seems to be corrupt. Can they get it back? I don't know. I haven't heard anything real good about it. But that's today's message. And I hope it helps somebody out there today. I got my new phone yesterday, so I have plenty of room now. But if you can give me a like, subscription, and thumbs up, I love you all. Till next time, soldier up. Peace. We out.